right, let's glue our mountains together. So I am using Distress Collage Medium because I like the fact that if any of it seeps out from underneath my die cut, it's gonna dry matte and you're not actually gonna see that it's there. The other type of glue that I typically like to use is the Tombow Multi. But the only thing is if some of it seeps out with that one, Tombow Multi ends up drying kind of like a Post-it note. So you end up seeing it, as well as the fact that it ends up being tacky. So we're gonna be adding a little bit of glitter to our die cuts just to make the snow a little bit sparkly. And if there's any of that Tombow Multi that has seeped through and is visible, you will get your glitter sticking to it, which may or may not be what you want, but it's always nice to have control over exactly where it is going to stick and where it's not going to stick. So, and I also typically, if I'm gluing a bunch of pieces down all at once, I will take the lid off my glue and just have it sitting in a cup upside down so that the glue is ready to go, and then I'm not constantly fiddling with the cap. I wouldn't leave this like this for a long time because I don't want the glue to dry up on that nozzle. So I will, between these different die cuts that we're cutting for this, I will put the cap back on the glue during that time. But it's quite handy to have it uncapped while you're assembling each one of these pieces. There we go. So that guy is done. Set him aside to dry. Let's do the second one. And you can see I'm not super precise with my glue. I just try to make sure that any of these edges sticking out have some on there. Because really when your project is together, you're not going to have someone going and touching and trying to lift things. And if you do, well, I don't have anything to say after that. The point is, no one's going to be testing your glue, so I typically don't worry about it. This is not going to be like a card that you have to put into an envelope and make sure that nothing catches onto edges or anything. So, and when I first was putting these mountains together, I would look at the image on the front of the envelope to know where these pieces were going. I put these mountains together so many times now that I just know where they go. Last little piece here. There we go. Now typically I would let that sit for a few minutes before sticking them together to assemble the rest of my pieces, but for this we're going to be doing it in this video. So I just have a piece of tape here. It's meant for card making and scrapbooking, just one-sided tape. I'm gluing those two pieces together because I want them to be as one for inside our frame. And then for the size of frame that I am using, I just know that 6 3/4 is the length it needs to be. So I'm going to cut it to that length. This other piece of mountain you can save for a card. You could do whatever you want with it, but we don't need to use it for this project. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of glitter to my mountains. I'm just using Distress glitter. It's a clear glitter. You could use an opalescent glitter as well. You could use a white glitter, whatever you like. This is just going to add a little bit of sparkle, which will end up being just a little bit of texture, and it'll just be something that the light will catch. And you'll notice I'm not going all over the white. I'm not completely covering the white. If you wanted white glitter, like the entire piece of white covered, then I would probably just die cut glitter cardstock. All right. So I just typically put it on the tops, dump the glitter down, tap the excess off, and there we go. So I'm going to set that aside to dry. I'm going to put this excess glitter back into the container. And by the time we are ready to assemble our piece, that glitter on top of those mountains will be completely dry. So we won't have to be fiddling with glitter while we are assembling things. So that will be completely ready for us. We'll see you in the next video.